Hello everyone, and welcome to another game of Warships. Today it's one of my replays and I'm in the Shimakaze, a tier 10 Japanese destroyer. I'm on the map north in a 3-point domination game. It's a tier 10 battle, although not too many tier 10s around. No carrier, no sub, and only a Petro for Raider. Now speaking of the Petro has been spotted and it's almost in Raider range. But Petro Raider is not that long and now 2 dangerous gunboats are around, so I should be quite able to escape there. So the Petro might be coming this way, so I have 1 launcher going over there, and then I have some towards the Amagi Bismarck that may or may not sail into them. And oh, I've got detected, so looks like the destroyer is coming here through sea, but for some reason nobody has shot me, even though I was briefly detected, and the Petro still isn't raidering. So I'm, well, not complaining. Now keep in mind, even if the Petro was raidering, I'm very confident I could escape quite easily here. Now the Erland has decided to actually engage me. And now the Raider is getting popped, so I'm also smoking, trying to disengage here. But as you can see, while I take a little bit of damage, this is perfectly fine, and the Raider should be over momentarily. So I feel like this was worth it. Obviously I could have run earlier when I saw the Petro, but I've decided that it's worth trying to take the cap. And worst case I bite the Raider and come back. If I'd just run away here, this situation is possibly only gonna get worse. Right now the ships were still in positions where I felt confident that I could escape. Meanwhile, the Erland is now taking our cap. Now if we now lose this, this would be pretty sad, especially because we have a Salem there that can easily raider, which is happening exactly right now. So the Salem is coming in there and is not prepared to give the enemy this cap for free. I'm trying to get some shots in. I mean, I still have my smoke here. Petro's raiders in cooldown. So now all I need to do is manage to lob some shells there. Meanwhile, of course, the Salem might be doing some work there, and you know, Erland, I'm gonna hit you eventually. Especially if you keep coming this way. So I have some torps going there. If the Erland keeps moving forward, although I guess it doesn't want to. Now, Salem Raider isn't gonna last forever. But for now, we still can get some shots in. Actually, the Salem might be able to regularly detect. We'll see. I mean, the Schlief might be able to... If the Schlief actually pushed there, it could hydro. And maybe that's exactly what's happening right now. Anyway, we can see the Erland again. And that's the important part. And hey, I got myself some first blood. Now, meanwhile, the enemies all are sitting around B and were watching the destroyer get cornered and taken out, which was very... considerate of the enemy team. Like, they could have pushed here, they could have tried to stop us. Now we have a I hope the Musashi isn't just gonna push through, because it's gonna get overwhelmed. It really needs to wait until our forces here in the 9-10 line come through. Now meanwhile, we have lost the destroyer at A, which is a bit of a shame. But we're now equal on ships, and we do have the advantage of the camps. Now we're gonna lose A, I presume. Oh, there is a raider. Well, I'm in a decent position here. Nobody can shoot me. And the raider is already over. So the Shima is probably gonna take A, unless it's... Yeah, it's taking A. I mean, I was hoping it would just chase our ships and ignore the camp. That would have been beneficial for us. But unfortunately, it's taking A. Now we aren't going to retake that anytime soon if our ships are all running away, because I can't sail into there with that many reds around. I would like to try to take B, but I can't with the Petro around. Now I have been recently raided, so the raider is, I think, still on cooldown. Of course, I haven't been paying enough attention to time it. So if I get raided here in front of all of those enemies, that would be really bad. There are quite a few enemies around, so this time I can't just sail into the B cap, and they're way too close. At this range, right, they would wreck me if I try to take B. The Petro is already retreating. What I'll do here is I'll try to torp here. I mean, there is the Amagi, the Bismarck, potentially the Petro, although it's reversing. There's Montana there, so there are a lot of ships there that I could potentially hit with torps if I just keep torping this channel. So we will see how that goes. They're also slightly staggered, so I might get... might get like a flooding if I hit one ship with 2 salvos. Now the important part is I need to get out of here now because the Petro Raider is most certainly gonna be ready again. Now the Petro isn't necessarily aware that I'm here because it might be spotted by other stuff. But now I'm gonna go after the Shima. My RPF has already switched towards the Shima. So I'll gotta increase my distance to the Petro, still inside radar technically. But I'm getting farther enough away that I should survive radar. Now where is the Shima? There it is. So of course we are inside a storm, which improves our concealment, so I have to get fairly close to spot the Shima. I've also just seen some Shima torps, so I presume his launches are on cooldown. Unfortunately mine are as well, so the Shimmer is smoking up and I'm still detected. Now the thing is, inside this storm you drop into concealment a lot faster, like the gun bloom from firing your guns only persists for like 10 seconds or so, which means it's probably not a reason to smoke, simply because I was in the storm, so I think I wouldn't have taken too much damage if I just waited. But then again, I got an additional charge from the first blood, so wasting one here might not be that bad. Hard to say if I'd gotten damaged more if I'd just waited. So there are some Shima torps now, but don't look too bad, and the spotting might even help the team behind me. So I've only used one torp launcher here. And I have 2 more ready. I think the Shima might still be here inside this smoke, and this launcher is going somewhat forward. But I want to get a little bit closer there and see if I can't torp, like for example the Alsa's coming this way. Oh, the Shima is not inside its smoke, it's behind. And it's accelerating exactly towards my torpedoes. What a shame. Would be a shame if it just sailed into there. Okay, so we have more torps going towards those other ships that may or may not come this way. The Alsace and the Hindenburg might sail into those. I'd be completely fine with that. Now we are 1 ship behind, we are still a bit ahead on points, because we had 2 caps right early on. And nobody has taken the center yet. I mean, I'm now the only destroyer remaining, but I can't go into A because there are too many enemies, and I can't go into B because there's a Petro. If my team could just sink the Petro, but unfortunately that's not gonna happen anytime soon because my team is in full retreat towards the C cap for whatever reason. Now our push through 9 and 9-10 line didn't work out that well, I suppose. That Schlieffen is in retreat. Now we have some ships here around C. Our team could be positioned a little bit better if they would at least put some pressure on the Petro, right? And it looks like I'm getting a torp hit. Will I get another one? Maybe. Maybe not. So there are a Montana and a Bismarck coming through here. I have some fish going their way. I'm also getting dangerously close to the Petro. The problem is I can't really go, as I said, towards A because there are ships there. If I wanna go more towards A, I'd have to go very far south because of the drone there. And I mean, the Hindenburg, the Alsace are still going south. I'll probably just try to torp maybe the battleships that come in here, or maybe I'll torp the Petro again. If I could get this Petro, what are the odds of hitting that Petro, right? So, lots of options. The Bismarck, if the Bismarck actually keeps coming this way. There is the Alsace, that may or may not work, so... And there is of course the Petro. And the Pedro is actually pushing now, so this is bad. The Bismarck actually made a turn, so maybe a good idea. I haven't wasted all my torps on it. Now, if the Bismarck comes through here, I'm gonna be in hydro range. The Pedro, I mean, the Pedro has raided quite a bit. I'm not sure if how it's doing on charges. I didn't really expect the Pedro to fully push here, but then again, my team just doesn't have much of a presence here, right? They all retreat so far that only the maybe the Musashi can still shoot the Pedro. Okay, so it looks like I'm gonna use my own torps against the Pedro. Of course, this is a very bad angle. Now, the Montana and the Bismarck might be coming through here. That could be good for torping. But I have another issue, right? I'm very close to the Pedro. It hasn't raided yet, that doesn't mean anything. It could just be on cooldown, it could be out of charges, or it could just be that it hasn't realized yet that I'm here, which will change once it sees the torps. And I'm surrounded by a lot of enemies, so there is a certain risk here with what I'm doing. But where else am I gonna go? I feel like I can't just keep sailing too far away. I'm really needed right here to stop this push. I can't go further south. Like usually if they push in like this, I might... Oh, I got the Pedro. Never mind. But my thing is I can't just go... If I want to go south of the Alsace, I'd have to be J-lining. So there was a certain amount of risk involved here, but Pedro radar isn't that long and the enemy isn't necessarily paying attention. I thought like it might have been a worthwhile risk, because the other options were just all pretty bad. Now I've got some torps going towards the Alsace. Once again, Montana and Bismarck could have been alternatives there for torping. But it looks like the Alsace is gonna work out quite nicely. And that gives us actually a ship advantage. Nice. Nobody has taken B just yet, although we are going to lose our battleship here just now. Now it looks like the Bismarck and the Montana, I mean, they have been playing very carefully around here, and it looks like they are in no rush to enter this camp. My ships still are not interested in B. And that's really the thing, right? I'm one of the main forces. Sometimes it feels like the only force that stops that push. I mean, I'm not the only one. The Musashi here is definitely helping. But my team is just still stuck in C. My team has sort of been stuck in C this entire game. Okay, so now I have an angle on the Montana and the Bismarck. The question is, what are they going to do? Are they coming my way? They're going to push into B. Now, these torps, if the Bismarck isn't gonna move a lot, they're going to hit the Bismarck. If the Montana moves forward, they're going to hit the Montana. Of course, if the Bismarck moves forward and the Montana doesn't move at all, then I'm just gonna not hit anything. Well, I'm gonna get 2 more launchers ready soon. So there is that. Now the positive thing is, the Bismarck has been in a sort of torpedo dangerous situation for minutes now. Which means his hydro might very well be on cooldown, because there was never a bad time for hydro in the sense, so the Bismarck could have just hydroed earlier. Of course, no way for me to know that, unless I wanna just YOLO right into it. Which would be pretty stupid. Now the Hindenburg is getting low on health, and as long as it's shooting, my team will be spotting it. So I'm gonna actually do a smoke screen here and use my guns. The Bismarck is sailing away, so it's not gonna hydro me. And while I'm not doing that much damage... Oh, I got it! And I got the Kraken! And I got the heal, because, you know, legendary camp. So we got the Bismarck, and yeah, I mean, my damage might not have done that much against the Hindenburg, but I helped a bit. Now, unfortunately, I'm not spotting the Montana because of that. That has finally decided to push in. So that's a bit of a shame. Now, my team is still stuck at sea. I thought for a second they were actually gonna come here and help, but, you know, this is a Rhone. You wouldn't push a Rhone with 4 ships, right? I mean... Yeah, I don't know. Ich lief mir Hindenburg auf. You know, let's look at their hit points. Yeah, okay. They are not the healthiest bunch. I admit that. But there is still 4 of them. And the thing is, well, it's 3 minutes 20. We do have a bit of a points lead. But we cannot be certain that we won't lose another ship. I don't know. If those guys helped a little bit here, helped me secure B. Then again, I have a feeling they're just gonna fight the Harbin 4-on-1, which... I mean, if they manage that, then I should be happy. Now the question is, what am I gonna do here? Ideally, I wanna just contest B, right? I could try to make a dash for A, although we are running low on time. And the problem is the Rhone is coming this way. If I go for A, I'm gonna run head first into the Rhone, which sounds not very healthy. Now I'm wondering what the Montana... I was thinking that the Montana's gonna make a turn and come back in B, just to contest the cap. And my smoke's on cooldown. So I didn't really wanna be in a situation where I get spotted by that Montana. And I've popped the speed boost here. Initially I wanted to speed just through here. But then I've decided, you know what? Why don't I just reverse in? Because it looks like the Montana isn't actually coming this way, but it's going north. Now, we've lost 1 ship there, but they got the Harbin, so C is not going to be contested. Like, if the Harbin had sunk a few more ships, or maybe even tried to cap C, would have been a bit of an issue. Now, it's 2 minutes remaining. We are doing well on points. I got the torpedo in the Montana, which is nice. Now, the biggest issue with the Rhone is 6 kilometer hydro. Now, what I could do is, I could just sit right here. Yeah, the Rhone is getting closer, definitely. I feel like maybe I should have just gone through here, right? And then I could have still turned towards B. Then again, I would have ended up in sort of a similar situation that I'm now. Now, the Rhone seems to be coming through here, right? I'm not that unhealthy, thanks to the heal that I got. Which means if I just wait here, I could torp the Rhone if it comes in, and worst, I should at least be able to pull off a trade. I mean, hydro or not, right? If it gets around this close, I can torp it. Well, maybe it can torp me as well. Points-wise, we're doing fine. I'm not, especially now since I'm contesting B. If we lose 1 ship, we still win this, I suppose. If we lose 2 ships, we don't. So the hydro has gotten me. I've gotten cold feet there. I've decided that I'm not gonna sit here. Honestly, I was afraid the Montana would push through here and I'd be hydroed by the Rhone and then farmed by the Montana. So I decided let's just make sure that doesn't happen. Now the Rhone has to go all the way around. But, you know, I mean, the time's just running out. The Montana hasn't come through this channel. The Rhone will take way too long to reach me. This is a win at this point. Unsurprisingly, I managed to do quite well. So, yeah, also the Musashi, the 1 ship that actually helped a bit in the center and wasn't just running away, did quite nicely too. So, lovely to see. And the Salem that helped early on with the radar and taking care of the Öland. Because if that destroyer would have been around, I wouldn't have been free to switch flanks. So, very nice. Also, I was a slight bit indecisive there in the end how to play this. Could have probably done a little bit better. I wasn't quite sure how the Montana would react, and I wasn't quite sure how many ships we would lose. But anyway, it was a nice win. Hope you guys enjoyed watching it, and I'll see you next time.